Title, no one from my family attended my graduation, not even my wife or kids. They chose my brother's barbecue instead. Then my phone lit up with a message from my wife. We need to talk urgently. Chapter 1. A solitary ovation. The auditorium brimmed with people, beaming parents, partners, and children. Everywhere I looked, there were shouts of joy and camera flashes as names reverberated across the stage. Everyone had someone by their side. Everyone except me. I stood at the edge of the platform, clad in a navy blue gown, cap in hand, my heart silently fracturing beneath a practiced smile. I'd juggled 3 jobs and night classes, surviving on 4 hours of sleep for 4 years. This wasn't just a business administration degree. It was evidence I hadn't abandoned my dreams. I did it for my family, for my wife, Sarah, and my kids, Emma and Noah. They'd vowed to be there front and center, waving signs. Sarah had chuckled weeks earlier, "We'll cheer so loud you'll tear up." But now, as I scanned the audience during the ceremony, a dull pain settled in my chest. Not one seat held a familiar face. They weren't delayed. They never showed. When my name was called and the crowd's applause roared, it felt empty to me. I shook the dean's hand, took my diploma, smiled for the camera, and drifted off the stage like a specter. In the hallway, I checked my phone, hoping for a message about traffic or an emergency. Instead, there was one text from Sarah sent 20 minutes ago. "We need to talk urgently." I stared at the words numb. No missed calls, no apologies, just that. With shaking hands, I unlocked my phone. The next message hit like a blow. "I didn't want you to find out from someone else, but I'm at your brother David's place. We've been together. I didn't want to spoil your day, but I can't keep lying." My vision blurred, the hallway swayed, and I braced myself against the wall. My breath caught as the truth sank in. My wife, my kids, my whole family, they chose him. They went to his barbecue, not just skipping my graduation, but because Sarah was with him. I glanced back at the auditorium doors, the echo of applause fading, and a single, sharp thought took shape. "Let's see how this unfolds, Sarah. I hope that barbecue was worth it." Chapter 2. The pictures they hid I stepped out of the auditorium into the cool evening air, my diploma tucked under my arm, phone still in hand. Around me, families laughed, snapped photos, hugged, and cried tears of pride. Me. I stood alone on the pavement, rereading Sarah's message. "I'm at your brother David's place. We've been together. They'd planned this, all of them." I opened David's social media. His profile was public. "Family BBQ*, the caption read. His posts lit up my screen. Sarah grilling, Emma splashing in the pool, Noah perched on David's shoulders, giggling like I didn't exist. My parents were there too, toasting, smiling as if I'd never been part of their lives. I swallowed hard, then noticed something. A photo Sarah had posted and quickly deleted. A glitch on the platform let me catch it briefly. I took a screenshot. It was Sarah in David's arms, kissing him, wearing the same red dress I'd gifted her for our anniversary. The betrayal slammed into me, but oddly no tears came, just clarity. I got into my car and drove home. The house was empty as I'd expected. The space we'd built together, filled with Sarah's decorating touches, felt lifeless, like a shrine to my own blindness. I sat at the kitchen counter, opened my laptop, and pulled up 2 files. A spreadsheet I'd meticulously updated for years and a scanned copy of our house's deed. Sarah always thought I was just obsessive about finances. What she didn't know was that I'd logged every account, tracked every transaction, and secured every signature with a dual authentication system only I could access. A year ago, I'd quietly set up a secondary LLC in my name, funneling 30% of my side business income into it, just in case. Sarah thought she drained our joint savings that morning, but that was only the account she could see. The real money was elsewhere, untouchable. I opened a new browser tab and began making discreet arrangements. Sarah had made her choice. So had David. So had everyone else clinking glasses at that barbecue. But they didn't realize something. I'd spent 4 years learning to build a future from nothing. Now I'd unravel their world, methodically, silently, legally. By the time they noticed, it would be too late. Chapter 3. David's world begins to crumble. 3 days passed. I ignored Sarah's texts and David's calls. Yes, he had the audacity to reach out. I worked in silence. At night, I lay in my quiet house, not weeping, not raging, but planning. Every scheme they'd hatched, every betrayal they'd orchestrated, I turned into motivation. On Friday morning, I sent an email to the HR department at David's company. Subject, Ray, conflict of interest and misconduct, urgent *. Attached were screenshots of Sarah and David's affair, time-stamped, Along with company expense reports David had misused for hotel stays and trips with Sarah over the past 18 months. I also included an email thread from Sarah's account. She'd never logged out on my laptop, where she wrote, "Don't worry, he's oblivious. I'll use his graduation as a distraction and clean out the accounts next week." I sent it anonymously from a burner account created at a public library. By Saturday night, the consequences began. David's LinkedIn status switched to *open to work *. Sarah's social media went silent, but the real blow came Sunday morning. I met my lawyer friend Mark for coffee. "You sure about this?" he asked, handing over signed documents for property transfers and account protections I'd prepared. "Absolutely," I said. "Let them feel what they never thought I'd do, fight back." I'd safeguarded my retirement accounts, my hidden LLC funds, and the house which, thanks to a premarital agreement Sarah never fully read, was never truly hers. Custody of my kids, secured, thanks to her documented absence at my graduation and texts revealing her intent to abandon the family. Mark grinned. "They underestimated the wrong guy." I nodded. "They picked the perfect guy to bury them quietly." That night, Sarah showed up, pounding on the door, tears streaking her face, makeup smudged from days of regret. "Please," she pleaded, "you haven't answered. I'm so sorry. David lost his job, Mom and Dad are livid. I didn't mean for this to happen." I opened the door just enough for her to see my calm expression. "Sarah," I said evenly, "this house isn't yours anymore. You'll get legal notice by morning. Check the mailbox." Her lip quivered. I added, "Oh, and you told me to watch my graduation through an app. I hope you enjoy watching your life fall apart the same way from afar." I shut the door and didn't look back. Chapter 4, Shattered Bonds and Locked Accounts. By Monday, the fallout had spiraled beyond Sarah's worst fears. She tried accessing our joint accounts, frozen. Her cards declined. She raced to the bank only to be told, "Ma'am, these accounts were closed 2 days ago. The funds were legally moved to Mr. Carter's protected trust per prior agreements." "Is this an error? I'm his wife," she snapped. "Ex-wife," the clerk corrected softly. "He filed for divorce this morning." Sarah stormed out, humiliated only to find her car immobilized, not my doing, but because David had leased it through his company, which had revoked all privileges after his termination. The keys were useless. She sat on the curb, calling David. He didn't pick up, too busy facing his company's legal team as auditors dissected his emails and expense reports. That night, I got a message from an unknown number, a video. It was Sarah sobbing in what looked like a cheap motel room, her voice breaking. "Please, can we talk? I messed up. I don't know why I did it. He's not who I thought. I thought you didn't care, but you were always the steady one." I didn't respond. I forwarded it to my lawyer. Then, for the first time in weeks, I slept peacefully. 2 weeks later, the divorce was swift and devastating for her. Sarah lost the house, custody of our kids due to her proven emotional neglect, and any claim to my assets, thanks to airtight legal groundwork. David, under scrutiny for fraud, his flashy lifestyle gone, his reputation in tatters. Sarah moved in with her mother, who once said I was fortunate to marry her daughter. I received a handwritten letter from Sarah, ending with, "I never thought you'd be capable of this kind of retaliation. You were always the quiet one." I smiled. She finally understood. Quiet doesn't mean powerless. Quiet means observing, planning, and striking when it matters. Epilogue. The graduation photo that spread like wildfire 6 months later. I stood in the auditorium lobby, dressed in a sharp black suit, shaking hands with the dean as he presented me with a gold plaque. Outstanding non-traditional graduate of the year, Michael Carter. A local news reporter waited to interview me, not just for graduating top of my class at 42, but because my story had captured the nation's attention. How someone had snapped a photo of me crossing the stage alone, gripping my diploma with no family cheering. They paired it with a second image of me the next day, standing by a charity banner, supporting overlooked fathers*, a foundation for men who uplift others but are left behind. The tale of the quiet father, abandoned on his graduation day, who exposed his wife's affair, won full custody of his kids, and launched a nonprofit for men in similar situations, resonated nationwide. Sarah tried to twist the narrative online, but screenshots of her text, "we need to talk, urgently *, were already viral. David, jobless facing lawsuits, his LinkedIn now reading open to opportunities *. My kids, back in my life not because I manipulated them, but because they saw the truth unfold. I didn't badmouth their mother. I let reality speak. As for me, I didn't want revenge to be loud. I didn't aim to ruin anyone. I just wanted peace. But when peace is taken, sometimes justice wears the face of silent, calculated patience. Final line, asterisk, they watched me walk alone once, but in the end I walked away with everything they lost. Was this justice deserved? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you believe this story is justified like it, share it with someone who needs this strength, and follow your channel name for more gripping tales of betrayal and justice. Because here every deception meets its reckoning and every betrayal finds its shadow. Stay sharp, stay resilient, and stay tuned.